This video is about how do you prepare for a therapy session. So one is whatever things that are bothering you, you make a list of them, you write it down or you put it in your notes. You decide what are the important things that you want to talk about. In that, when the session starts, you share the thing that was most beneficial in that duration based off of your last therapy session, and you assess the progress in this session. So let's say, for example, in the last time you talked about X was a problem and then you decided Y was a solution. So how has Y helped reduce the problem caused by X? Start with a summary of things that has happened and that has caused some kind of trouble to you, that has caused you to get back to this session. Meaning, like, what are the recent things or factors that have increased your tension and that has caused you to get back to this session. And always start with the productive stuff, because when you start with the productive stuff, you realize that you have progressed, although not as much as you would want, but it's still some progress. Another thing, when you start the session, you decide the flow of the session. Meaning, you determine either you start from the least important to the most important, or you start from the most important to the least important topics. Like, make a list of 3 to 4 topics, and then you say, let's say 1 is very important, I need to deal with at least 1 and 2. If 3 and 4 happen or not happen, that's irrespective, but those are like the deal breakers. When you're going through a session, you should ideally have a book or something to type on where you take notes and you kind of make sense in writing of what is being discussed. Let's say, for example, the therapist is saying, okay, perhaps this is a trend. Then you're like, oh yes, this makes sense. So you write down that this is a trend with your thought process, with your personality, and so on and so forth. Do not forget, at the end, you make a summary. Like, you make, okay, so of today's session, these are the bullet points that you need to keep in mind, so that you eventually come to a conclusion and it becomes easier to apply. So let's say, for example, the session is complete, then you can be like, okay, what was discussed? Okay, A, B and C were discussed. Okay, so I think I can do this, this is a little hard, but at least I can try. Subsequent session will be more fruitful. Thank you.